Hay más información para compartir con ustedes y como parte del bloque internacional compartimos fragmentos de una entrevista que le realizamos en esta jornada a Michal Hershkovitz, que es la embajadora israelí en Uruguay, hablando de varios temas. Comenzamos con lo más reciente, esta llamada guerra de los 12 días y por qué Israel decidió atacar ahora las facilidades iraníes de uranio enriquecido, teniendo en cuenta que por los últimos 20, casi 30 años, el actual primer ministro Benjamín Netanyahu ha advertido que Irán estaba cerca de acceder a la bomba atómica. Vamos a escuchar qué explicaba la embajadora israelí en Uruguay.
The reason that we attacked at this point is because we understood that at that point of time, Iran was really, in a very short time, few months, if not before, to reach a nuclear bomb. And why did we come to this conclusion? 3 months before the attack, Iran had uranium enriched to 60% in a quantity that was enough for 6 atomic bombs. In the 3 months that it continued to develop, it reached enough material for 9 to 10 bombs. This is a rhythm of enrichment that we have not seen before. When you put this together with the fact that in order to reach 80 to 90% of enriched uranium, which this is the levels that you need in order to create a bomb, this change between 60% to 80-90 is very short in time and does not require any special technology. So they had all the tools in order to breach this fine line and to reach a nuclear bomb very quickly, and this is the reason that we understood that if we don't act now, it will be too late.
Days ago, or weeks ago, in an interview, you said that there was an intention of Iran of infiltrating in Latin America. Do you see any specific risk for Uruguay of this happening?
Well, there is not an intention. Iran is in Latin America. It is not just an intention, they are executing it. Iran has presence in many countries in Latin America, especially in the north of South America, in Venezuela, in Bolivia, in different countries. They have signed different defense agreements, which is not very clear what is behind these defense agreements. But when everybody, all the world saw Iran's capabilities with missiles that can reach up to 2,000 kilometers, and drones, they launched more than 1,000 drones towards Israel in these 12 days of operation. And you saw the destruction of the missiles that they have done. I don't think anyone in Latin America, especially in Uruguay, wants to see this sort of threats reaching Latin America. And there is a lot of open information about Iran operatives and Iran proxies touring the region, operating from neighboring countries, so the threat is there.
But do you have any information about, for example, money laundering here in Uruguay to finance terrorist organizations?
Well, every information that we have and every collaboration that we do, we share it with the authorities in each country. So this is where we will leave it.
But you are sharing that kind of information with Uruguay?
Well, I will not confirm or I will not mention anything specific. We have good collaboration between the countries, and I leave all the assessment of risk to the Uruguayan authorities. I will not go into the definition of risk for Uruguay.
Michal Hershkovitz, la embajadora israelí en Uruguay, también hizo referencia a la situación en Gaza. Israel niega que exista un genocidio, como dicen, por ejemplo, el presidente de Brasil, Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. Tampoco acepta Israel que se hable de masacre, como en su momento hicieron referencia a las autoridades uruguayas, el canciller y el presidente de la República, así como también contesta Israel al comunicado emitido por Uruguay este fin de semana, manifestando su preocupación por la crisis humanitaria en la Franja de Gaza, donde el 100% de la población se encuentra bajo riesgo de hambruna, según dice ese comunicado, que alega además que hay ataques con armas de fuego contra población civil que va a los centros de distribución de ayuda humanitaria a buscar alimentos. Esto es lo que respondía la embajadora israelí en Uruguay.
Uruguay government has used the term massacre about what Israel is doing in Gaza. Is that a correct form of saying it?
Of course not. There was one massacre, and that massacre was on the 7th of October 2023. This massacre was committed by Hamas towards the civilians of Israel. What Israel is doing in Gaza, this is a war. And yes, there are casualties, and every death of an innocent person is horrible. And I wish that it has not have happened. But this is the reality of this war. And this is a war that Israel did not start and did not look for, and that we hope to be finished with this soon. But this is the reality that we have, and we have our own dead as well. Only in the past month, 20 soldiers were killed in Hamas. So this is really not one-sided. This is a war that everybody suffers. And I hope that this suffer will be able to end quickly.
And what about these last days official communication from Uruguayan government condemning an attack on civilian people when they were going to get some food in Gaza?
This is a quote of one of the UN agencies that have published these figures, and of course we go out against these claims. There are today two ways to distribute aid in Gaza. One is via the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund. This is an American institution that is delivering aid packages, meals to families directly. It's in the form of a box which contains food for one family for 1 week. They have distributed more than 50 million meals since they started operating. And there is the next channel, the other channel, the channel of the humanitarian aid that goes via the UN different bodies and some NGOs. And thousands of trucks have entered Gaza to be delivered by these organizations. Unfortunately, there are hundreds of trucks waiting for these organizations to deliver them, and they do not. But in no way we are involved or we are deliberately shooting people in places of delivering food. No, we are aiding the delivery of the food and protecting of these processes. So
the Uruguayan government is incorrect with these claims and accusations?
I think that the reliance of the UN different organizations is problematic. And I will explain why. When you look at the humanitarian aid, there are many claims. And the UN, they are counting how much aid is entering Gaza, and they publish it. And many countries like Uruguay, they take information that is being presented by the UN. But for instance, the UN authorities, they do not count all these meals that I said, more than 50 million meals that have been distributed by the GHF. They do not count this. So how can it be? They are supposed to be a reliable source of information, but they are really not, because they only count what is coming to them, but they do not count the other ways that we are delivering aid. And this we have seen from the beginning of the war until now. This is systematically. They do not count aid that is being presented in other ways, so the data that they are providing is false.